Go. All right, everyone. I'm here with Lorna. How are you?
Awesome.
You look great, by the way. Did I say that?
Thank you. No, you didn't.
You look very nice. All right, so we are going to take you back on a memory trip back to February and March. And I'm just going to explain because I remember you were frustrated with two things. You were frustrated with your delivery and your clients a little bit, and you were frustrated about, being a bitch. Like you were afraid of being mean or being too rude or too much or, all these kinds of things. So can you tell people how that affected your confidence and how that affected how you sold, like how you started to change your questions and and how that experience was, because you were frustrated about it.
Yeah. So the clients, we can do that first. I was really frustrated. They just weren't moving. They weren't moving as quickly as I needed them to move for me to be interested and engaged in what I was doing. I was bored out of my mind, actually, a big part of it. But underneath the boredom, or maybe I was frustrated and bored underneath, but I was also really frustrated because I couldn't get them to move. Like if I think back to those clients, like I have different clients now and I have different struggles now, but it's actually kind of the same. But I feel like those clients feel like boulders to me. Like they feel like heavy, solid, like could not fucking move them. And they were doing little piddly shit. And that was my main frustration. So then I started to be like, okay, there's got to be something wrong with me. There's got to be something wrong with what I'm doing. I mean, I was racking my brain, and I was not really looking forward to my calls.
Yes.
At all. Oh my God. I just wasn't having fun. And I was starting to doubt whether I had made, whether I really was, this was my thing, whether I really had what it took.
Yeah.
Because I just could not, it's like I couldn't crack the code. I just couldn't do it. So the other one, oh God, yeah. The worry about being a bitch. So this is, when I did a live stream on this, like back then, after you told me, when you said you just need to be a complete bitch and your only barometer is to speak your truth. That's it. That's your only job. I realized the answer to this question that I had for a while that I was like, what is going on? So I would get on my sales calls and I would have this frozen face, this kind of frozen, half smile. And it felt super annoying and totally disingenuous. And I didn't know what it was. But I could feel it. And I was like, what is this? And I get off my calls. And even if I made a sales call, I hated the feeling. I hated the whole thing. It was not fun. And I was like, what is this fate? What am I doing? And then I realized, after you said, just go be a bitch and speak your truth, I realized that I was holding myself in this pattern of civility, right? I was presenting, a friendly front. And when really inside I was like, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. I don't believe that. But I couldn't show it. I couldn't even show it on my face. And so that was a major breakthrough, incredible, major. I was like, oh, I don't have to get on calls and try to make people feel comfortable. I don't have to. If they're saying something I think is idiotic, I will just make a face that's that's idiotic. And then sales got fun. I remember I sent you that text and I was like, I get it now. All I want to do is be on sales calls.
I know.
This is all I want to do. Just morning, noon, and night. Just be on sales calls because I wasn't I wasn't in pain anymore on my calls. I wasn't in pain. And the big thing that happened, so I think in let's see. Well, I can't remember which month it was, but I had an 80K month. I think it was my second month, maybe February, March. I think March was 80. And then the following, is either March or April, the following week, after you told me, like, go mark it like a bitch. I don't have it up here anymore, but I had it up here for a long time. Mark it like a bitch. I had a $110,000 week.
Yes. So what happened?
And I was like, oh, I get it.
Tell everyone what happened on your calls, and we do self-esteem.
Okay. What's the last part?
Your self-esteem. You're allowing yourself to say.
Yeah. What happened on my calls was there was no filter. I just had no filter at all. I had zero filter. And I didn't even really I never really used a script, but before I did kind of have like questions that I would ask first, second, and third. And I still do, because our curiosity follows like a natural line of questioning. But I didn't think about it. I just didn't think about it. I just asked the first question. And the other thing is, I asked like right off the bat, I asked really uncomfortable questions. So before, I was like kind of pussyfooting around, like, tell me about your business and where do you want to be? I basically was like, so how long have you been in business? Tell me about your packages. How much are they? How long are they? This was like in 30 seconds into my calls.
Yeah.
We didn't spend any time like small talk. I didn't really do that anyway, but I didn't pull any punches. And people like did not know what hit them. Like they were just like, wait, what's going on? Like, what is this? Like, it's like they, fell down the rabbit hole. And so I became willing to ask extraordinarily uncomfortable questions. The ones I really wanted to know the answer to, which of course are the ones that unlock like everything.
Yeah,
and they unlock everything.
And really funny enough, it's not dangerous to ask.
No, it's uncomfortable. Like I can feel, because I'm empathic, I can feel the discomfort. I can feel the other person like writhing. I can feel them squirm. So it's not easy. It wasn't easy to ask those questions, but it was very freeing to ask them. Yeah. And it felt extremely liberating, and yes, totally powerful. And I was very aware of why I never did this before, because you can't make anyone feel uncomfortable, but creating a condition in which someone can choose to interpret things is extremely challenging and confronting is something I do naturally. It's one of my gifts. And I would always shrink back from it because I could feel how uncomfortable they were. But I didn't shrink back from it. I kept going, actually. I kept going. I kept asking the next uncomfortable question and the next one. And then my insights, like not just questions, but like, do you realize why you're doing that? Do you understand what's behind that? I mean, these were to people who had been in business a long time, were making good money. I had no business, quote unquote, talking this way to these people. No business.
Yeah.
And I closed, $110,000 in a week.
And how much cash was it? Do you remember?
50. It was like 50 something, like 54.
Yeah, or 40 something that week, and then it was more later. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like 40 or 50. It was very high. No, I'm pretty sure it was 50. at least 50, because you had said to me at the beginning of that week, you're like, you are going to do, because remember before that I had been getting sales, but they've been really low cash.
Yeah.
I'd been making I'd been making 20K sales, but the cash was like super low.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, $50,000 in cash. And I was like, okay, that's just insane. Like I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Cause I just like, don't even know how to process that. And then I remember by the end of the week, I looked at my numbers and I was like, oh my God, I did it. So it was very close. Might not have been exactly there, but very close.
Yeah. Awesome. And tell people, what have you, I know you told a little bit, but tell them just your journey to free yourself as a soul through investments. What have you done before? Because you've been working with me since January, so you've been working with me for a while. But before you came to me, can you just tell people that trying what they're doing?
Well, I mean, I had taken a lot of time off from this whole world because I actually had no faith in it. So before that, so like 2 years ago, I like did this, you know, for like a hot minute. And I did I ran my numbers and I invested, I think it was like $50,000 in all sorts of different things. And this includes like healings and energetic clearings and, you know, intuitives and psychics and channels and all of that, plus like masterminds and where I made no money, and like a funnel program where I made no money and, you know, all that stuff. So it was around 50K, 40 or 50. And I left because I could not do it the way everybody was doing it. I could not do it. And also I was going through hell. I mean, emotional hell, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the thing that everyone was saying to do, like the photo shoot and the email campaign thing. And I couldn't do it. And there was no other way that it was being done. So I just walked away because I'm like, it feels so inauthentic. I can't do it. And then of course, when I came back, and decided that I was going to start my business again, the decision to hire you was like, the way I describe it is, you know, if you want to train for the Olympics, there is only so much you can do on your own. There's only so much you can push yourself. There's just only so much that you can do. And I had done everything that I knew how to do. Like I had really done everything. I had taken myself through all my own. I had like terrified my own ass. I had like kicked my own ass. I had like done, you know, like everything that I could conceive of to do. And I was like, okay. And I still wasn't, I mean, I'd only been in business a week. So I'm a little impatient. But you know, I had a fire under my ass. I mean, I had no money, I had no money. I was living off my parents' money, right? They were paying for my groceries and my rent. Yeah. And I had a deadline that was going to get cut off. And I was like, I have to make this work and I can't do it alone. I know I'm not going to do it alone. And so that's when I found you, or again, because we worked together very briefly a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So since you've been with me for a while, how would you say you're transformed? Can you tell people the difference between Lorna pre-Charlotte and the difference between Lorna after, and how this has changed you so far?
You know, honestly, I mean, so I talk about this, you know, with my clients, like my goal is to make them unrecognizable to themselves. That's my goal. And that is basically what has happened in 6 months. I do not recognize the person that I was. And we're talking only 6 months. And I have been through therapy and all sorts of for 10 years. You know what I mean? 15 years. I was riddled with anxiety. I could not say anything, text anything, email anything, post anything without being like consumed, like obsessively consumed later with like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I should have said it in this way, or what if I pissed somebody off, or oh my God, like just consumed, like horrible. In fact, I talked about this, I think in one of my live streams recently. I picked my thumbs like down to like blood, like they looked hideous since I've been in 8th grade. I've had to have fake nails. Now I do it just because I like it, but I am able to actually not, like I'm able to just, you know, have my normal nails and not do that, which is, I've never been able to do that since I've been in 8th grade.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I literally could not show, I mean, like my friends, if I ever showed my thumbs, cause I would always walk around like hiding my thumbs like this. And if I had to point or something, I'd kind of go like, it was horrible. It was like terrible. Horrible. It's so embarrassing. What?
That is horrible.
Yeah. And they hurt like hell. Like, and my friends told me it looked like I put my thumbs in a pencil sharpener. That's how bad.
Let's look at them.
Well, they're fine now. But that's how bad my anxiety was. It's not like a normal level of anxiety. It was extreme.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I just don't have that. I will say something and I'm just like, whatever. I don't, especially, you know, I'm dating now and I'm like communicating with all these guys and I'll say things and be like, okay, that was pretty out there. I call myself, you know, psychic, and I say all sorts of crazy things, and I'm like, that's fine, whatever. I have zero attachment to how people. No, that's not true. I still have a little attachment to how people perceive me, but it is like nothing. It's like if it were 100, you know, before, it's like 10 now.
Yeah.
Which is like. I walk around thinking everybody needs what I have. Everybody needs this because it's what everybody's looking for.
Yeah, I know.
So, awesome. And of course the change in money. I mean, I had no money.
Yeah.
No, I had zero in my bank account. Like no, and I mean no money. I mean no credit cards. I mean no investment. I really mean nothing. And you know, I now have done, I think it's 500. I've sold $554,000, which is just insane to think about. Like, fucking crazy.
Not really.
It's totally. I mean, and my goal, as you said, you know, before we started recording, my goal, my big fat hairy goal, the one that I was like, I'm pretty sure I can meet this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a stretch, was $10,000 by the end of March. And by the end of March, I had done 80. So that's right. So it was 80 in March and then 110 in the first week in April.
Yeah.
And then.
So what would you say for anyone thinking they want to go into the intensive, for instance, or the work?
Don't think about it. Stop thinking. Do not use your brain. Just do it. Stop thinking. Don't think. Thinking is your enemy. It's a no-brainer. Like, actually, that's the word. It's a no-brainer. Like, you know.
It's a no-brainer.
Right? It's a no-brainer. You know, you take people from, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. There needs to be another word or like another phrase other than quantum leap, because this is not even a quantum leap. This is something else. I don't even know what it is.
You just call it transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's used so much.
Yeah, we need to invent a word.
Anyway, yeah, we'll invent a word. It's just, I can't stress enough. I mean, I cannot stress enough that you have no equal in this business. No equal. There's no other way that money could be spent on anything better than with you. How's that for a testimonial?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lorna. And
You're welcome.
I'm going to end the recording now.
Okay.
Beautiful.